right, welcome back to the SilmFilm Script Discussion, Season 2, Episode 10, Part 3. We're trying to slog our way through Act 1. We've established how we want Act 1 to end. We just need to have some other stuff in Act 1.
Yeah, that would be good.
And I'm wondering if we want to have some of the half Teleri, half Noldor elves in Aqualande in Act 1 to begin establishing that. Like, what are our story threads that we want?
Yeah, because I mean, if that's just a random scene by itself, then. But what I was hoping to do with that scene, establish that Galadriel is interested in realms of her own back in Middle Earth, and that's why she's talking to Larry about building ships to go back there someday.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm thinking is we could actually just do a 2-scene arc with that to have them there at here in Act 1, and then
later. Yeah.
Right in Act 4.
So, in that case, it would just be a family establishing scene.
Right.
You get the relationship between Galadriel and the Teleri elves in Aqualande comes out through their conversations. The question is, we have not really introduced any of Finarfin's kids at this point, other than Galadriel.
Right.
No? So, if we want...
Well, then we could use that scene.
2 of her brothers don't matter. Yeah. 2 of her brothers we don't really care about. Angrod and Agnar are not going to do anything until much later, so we don't need to introduce them at this point, other than to have them be there. Finrod is hugely important. Later.
Yes.
Not yet. So again, he's a pretty cool guy. It would be interesting to establish something of his character from the very beginning.
Right.
But we don't need him yet. We needed Galadriel because of the whole hair thing, and because she's in the frame.
So, can we establish in that case? I mean, is there anybody that we need to? I mean, because we could just use that scene to establish Finrod as being related, in his relationship with Galadriel.
The other thing we could do is have him not be there and have someone comment on his absence.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only reason to do that is his girlfriend's one of the Vanyar. So if they've all gone to hang out in Aqualande, perhaps he didn't go with them because he's hanging out in Valmar or something.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of unnecessary talking about people who aren't there. Just you could mention him in passing, but then I don't know.
Yeah, he can say something to the effect of he went to visit his betrothed in Valmar, and that's it. That's the end of that. Like, that's a 2-line conversation. Somebody asks her about him, he says that, bam, done.
Right. So basically, so where I'm going with this is a Galadriel scene. She might have some brothers there. She definitely has some cousins or something there. But she's our main character that we're focusing on in Aqualande.
Is she an adult at this point? I think she is, right?
Yeah, I'd say we want her to be that.
Okay, good. So we can.
So we're reintroducing her.
Right, and now she's the actress that's in the frame. So we don't have to name her. We already know who she is.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. I forgot about that.
It's always, it's funny because I've always enjoyed when there's a frame narrative, when the character who's been telling you the frame shows up in the frame.
Right.
After a long absence, because some they're there right away, right? They're telling their story, so they're going to be in there. But I always love it when, and it's even better when you can have the same person, and you're just and this is a case with, hey, they're elves, so they're always supposed to look like that.
Right. I think that happens in Tangled.
Yes, I believe so.
In Tangled, Flynn Rider is telling the story at the beginning.
Yeah.
And we see his face on the wanted poster, but he doesn't appear in the story for at least another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, because Cusco's telling the story in The Emperor's New Groove, and he's there from the beginning because it's his story. But you're right. I think Tangled's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife's a huge fan of Tangled, so I remember that because I've seen that movie about 80 times. Anyway, it was her favorite Disney movie until Frozen came out.
I still haven't seen Frozen.
Just let me.
It's actually okay. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
And it does play the whole act of true love thing on its head, which is kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on a trip with my sister. They had 3 copies of it with them. They had the DVD. It was saved on the computer, and it was like saved on the iPad or something.
Wow.
Children.
Just in case. All right. So.
Yeah, that's what it was for. Traveling with 4 small children, you needed to have copies of Frozen everywhere.
So we come from the teaser. We go to Aqualande. I think we should have at least one more scene in Act 1 before we go to the fortune-telling scene.
Right.
Do we want a scene with Feanor by himself, maybe, or?
So was Feanor's shop in the teaser?
I think that we could have that.
Okay. Because if not,
like him going into his shop and having having like his assistant meet him and be like, "Hey, there's a bunch of people who want to be your apprentice," and be like, "I don't have time for that."
Yeah, something like that. Because unlike the Rocky example, I don't think Feanor has given up doing this stuff.
No, yeah.
He just has no interest in bringing anyone else into the process.
Yeah.
Right. He already has his guys that are mass producing the things that are like his signature items.
The Feanorian lanterns.
Right, yes.
That's the mass production thing for the Noldor that he invented, but he's not making them.
No. Yeah. He has a shop where people are just picking up these things. He's not the one that's making them at this point, though.
Right.
And we need to somehow establish all that. But if we establish all that at the beginning, then I think we have what we need for Feanor.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need Fingolfin and Finarfin to talk about anything, or Fingolfin to talk to his wife about anything? Like, do we need some scene with Fingolfin and another character?
Oh, after the
first
teaser scene?
After the teaser.
Could he maybe have a scene with Finwë that establishes that he feels neglected by Finwë?
If we're gonna make Finwë be part of the issue, again, Finwë should show up in this early part here. So Fingolfin should maybe be trying to explain something to Finwë, and Finwë kind of blows him off.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be
it could be a minor thing, like not a really important thing, and Fingolfin isn't acting like a little kid being like, "Daddy's not paying attention to me." Like, we don't need to go that route, but just to show that there's a little bit of distance in their relationship.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! If we keep this up, Finwë is going to be those worst dad evers.
Yeah.
Right.
To be fair, the types of traits that he has in the Silmarillion don't lend themselves to good dads.
No.
He's not explicitly called out, but the type of person who's like, "No, I'm going to take my ball and go home, and I'm going to, I don't make decisions well."
Yeah.
It's like, that's actually not great for being a dad.
Right.
It's just in Avengers fan fiction, there's actually a tag for Odin's A+ parenting. Because as Odin is presented in the Thor films, he kind of sucks at being a dad. Like, not just to Loki, where it's obvious, but also to Thor. Like, he's terrible as a parent to both of them.
Yep.
It really is. That really is a very similar set of relationships to what we're illustrating.
Yeah. Though no one can beat, as far as bad dads or bad parents go, no one can beat parents in Frozen. who are just like, they are told the thing, like, oh, her being afraid will make her powers worse. And then the thing that they do is they make her fear her powers.
Yeah. Well, because they're scared of them.
They are.
Right.
Kind of understandable, but it's also like, did you not listen to the rock troll people? Anyway, we're off on a tangent, so let's get back to the episode.
So, but one thing that I would like to illustrate at some point in Act 1 is that Fingolfin is not unpopular.
Yes.
One of the only negative thing that is explicitly pointed out about Fingolfin is that he and Feanor both have become proud of their position amongst the Noldor. That is part of the issue that comes between them, is the fact that they both have a following.
Yeah.
So maybe we could show a scene. We could show a scene with Fingolfin. I mean, it might be interesting to actually do like a practice sword, contest between him and another person, showing his martial prowess and having cheering people behind them as like the intro to that scene.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about what martial arts looks like for the elves yet.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, don't actually go into battle at this point.
Right.
So it would be a little bit more.
It's ceremonial. It's
ceremonial, artistic, based on the form.
Right.
A sporting event.
Right. It's more like fencing than actual battle.
Yes. Which there are some martial arts that have become that in modern times, because realistically, very few people who practice martial arts are planning to use their skills in battle context.
Like fencing. Fencing is a very good example of that.
Yes.
Well, yes. But fencing in particular, because fencing, one of the problems that people who are into historical martial arts are constantly complaining about in regards to fencing is that if you score a hit on somebody, no matter what they do after that, that's it. That's the end of that round because you scored a point.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if that were an actual fight, they still would have got you. And if your hit is not as good as their hit, you're still going to get killed. Like if you score a glancing blow to the shoulder and they come in and take off your head, you're dead, and they're not.
Yes.
But in fencing, that's not how it works.
Right. Kendo is similar in that you reset after someone scores a point, but you do typically both strike at the same time. Like that's usual.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be telling who hit the good point. Whose strike was on target, solid, well carried out strike. Right. So you're supposed to win based on the judge's view of your actions.
Right.
I mean, that's still pretty arbitrary because who saw what and it's very fast and blah, blah, blah. And you can sometimes win a point when you totally missed the target and no one realized it. But it sounded good. It looked good.
Right. Yeah. So if we do this, that can be like the setup to the scene, and that he wins the bout. People cheer. He goes off to the side and has this conversation that he's going to have. Like the scene isn't actually the fight. That's
right.
That we come in at the end of that.
Okay. So is he looking for Finwë to acknowledge him in some way, and then Finwë doesn't, so he feels he has to be a little pushier about talking to Finwë? Is that how we're going to show the interaction?
Well, it's what we could do is if Finwë is there, we could actually do that without Finwë actually saying anything. If Finwë's there and he's watching from like the king's box up top,
right,
but he's not actually paying attention. If like everybody's cheering and Finwë's talking to somebody next to him, and we get the right musical cue, it's going to convey everything that we want to convey about that relationship without them having to say a word about it. What do we think?
Yeah. And it's the type of thing where I do like, this in particular is a good place to be like, hey, the elves are, the Noldor are, there's issues there, because if you think about it, in this circumstance, why should there be some sort of martial arts competition in the first place. Like, why are they enjoying this?
Mm-hmm.
Why is the thing, you know, like, I don't know that we need to say that, but I think
we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good note to be striking. It's like, you know, like, if you think about it for a second, it's like, wait, they're in paradise. Why are they having fencing competitions?
Right.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
where did these tournaments come from?
Right.
And
it doesn't have to be answered, but it's the type of question that you want a viewer, especially a viewer who likes to think about these things, who likes to dig into this stuff, you want to actually be like, yeah, this seems like a bad idea.
Well, now here's another thing to think about here, because there's relationships here to like the modern world, because yes, we have sword fighting competitions, and that's the thing that exists, and people know that exists.
Right.
People are aware of that. They don't really care, but they're aware of it. No, I'm saying like by and large,
nobody knows what kendo is.
Well, I mean, no, people have heard of kendo. I know what kendo is. I've never been to a tournament, but I know what it is.
Right.
Here's the thing. If I walk down the streets of Philadelphia with a sword on my hip, I'm a wacko.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just because they're doing this doesn't necessarily mean they're thinking about actually using these against another human being in anger.
Oh, no. Agreed.
But the fact that they're here at all it should have people questioning, gee, that's a little weird that they're doing that, you know?
Right.
Yeah. The other thing that was pointed out was that heraldry was becoming in vogue among the Noldor.
Yep.
So each house has its own colors now.
Which is really easy to do in this kind of situation, because you can actually have like a scoreboard kind of thing with like Thingolfin's crest.
Right. If the different families have their own banners and crests and things, and you have some shields set up, it's a little easier to advertise in this setting.
Right.
Yeah.
So Feanor's not there then, I take it. Feanor's not part of this. He's doing his own.
Yeah, this is not strike me as something Feanor is interested in. Feanor is interested in making stuff. And
if Feanor is going to do this, it's not going to be a competition thing. He's going to be learning how to actually kill people with his sword.
Yes. Yeah, if he's not going to do that, he doesn't care. You know, it's like, why should I care about pretending to have a sword fight?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So Feanor is definitely not part of this tournament.
Right.
Game.
So,
okay.
Do we want to have an actual conversation take place, though, between Fingolfin and somebody else?
I feel like it makes sense to, because we work in a little bit of an action sequence here, but we probably need people to talk.
Maybe with Finrod?
Fingon, not
Finrod. Fingon. Sorry. Too many fins.
I know. And this episode, discussing this episode that we're doing tonight, is when Coriolson could not keep straight. Feanor, Fingolfin, Finarfin.
Yeah.
Hearing him trip over it repeatedly, it was like, yeah, this is difficult. Trying to get viewers to keep these character names straight is going to be impossible.
It's
too many fins.
Yeah, this is one of those.
That's one of my arguments for not really introducing Finrod yet, is we don't need him. He's another Finn, and can we just not?
Okay. So then who could he be talking to?
Then we can't have Finrod Felagund, the best two-name combination in Tolkien history.
Finrod Felagund is an awesome character, and I do not want to cut him.
I know.
And he's also later, he also comes into prevalence later in the Legendarium, where it's not as big a deal.
Especially because I think Felagund doesn't apply to him until he goes to Nargothrond, right?
After he builds Nargothrond. Felagund means hewer of caves. It's a dwarf.
That's what I thought. I knew it had something to do with caves.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So, I agree. I'm just,
Yeah. No.
I just wanted to say Finrod Felagund at some point.
Yes. No, if I was going to marry one of the elves, it would totally be Finrod. But that's not the point here. Finrod's amazing.
Doing some film with Marie, learning stuff all about her.
No. His girlfriend's name is Amarie, so you know he's taken.
All right.
But
so who then? Who would Fingolfin have this conversation with after he realizes that Dad's not paying attention?
Fingin, his oldest son.
Okay, all right. So he does talk to Fingin. Yeah. What are they talking about? Because he's not necessarily going to complain about Grandpa to Fingin.
No.
Fingin
they would be talking about what just happened. So about swords and
yeah.
Could Fingin maybe say something to the effect of like, "Wow, you would have killed him"? You know, could we actually have that explicitly?
Yeah.
And Fingolfin talk about how, like, Fingolfin kind of rebuke him a little bit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like that's...
Because if we're going to make it all about a sport, this would be the time to establish this is a game, a sport. This isn't
right. Yeah.
I feel like, too, establishing the younger part of the of the Noldor, like, are starting to have thoughts like that, can also, you know, be illustrative. Like, I was looking through the book again and realized that at one point Tolkien said something to the effect of, and the Valar did not realize that the Noldor had been poisoned. And I just love that. I love that word choice. Like, there's this thing in their system that is getting pervasive and is affecting them in ways that you don't necessarily even notice. Like, it's just, but it's like spreading throughout them. Like this whole, again, like this idea of like having tournaments where you pretend to kill people. Like,
so
you know,
if
it's kind of
says, you know, you almost killed him or you could have killed him.
Right.
And then Fingolfin rebukes him saying, no, like,
yeah, you don't want to do that.
And then follows it up.
Yeah.
But then follows it up with, but you're right. Like, I totally won.
Yeah.
Like, that would kind of show what you're saying with it's this pervasive.
Right.
Yeah.
Where there's the, oh no, we are like good and noble elves and we would never do that. But I totally had him.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break real quick. If you're watching this live on YouTube, we'll be back in a second. If you're watching this on YouTube later on, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe sometime forever from now, because these will totally last forever, definitely like and share the videos if you like and want to share them. If you haven't yet, definitely subscribe. I don't know why you wouldn't have by now, but you definitely should. And check out the links below for information on Signum University, Mythgard, and Mythmoot 4, which will be coming up June 1st to the 4th. Register now before the early bird special goes away. We'll be back in a minute.